Okay, welcome everyone. Okay, so we are starting our live in some time. So you can post your questions related to whole brain acceleration or related to parenting, holistic parenting, related to all of these things, right? Anything that you feel you want to ask me. So let me also start my live in Instagram. So if you have not started being in my Instagram, you can check that out. Okay. Welcome to Dr. Nalini's Instagram Live. It's been so long since we did an Instagram Live, and I thought, okay, let me do an Instagram Live answering many of your questions. I've been getting a lot of questions in my DMs, and also a lot of people ask a lot of questions related to their baby brain development, about their holistic parenting wellness, and also a lot of questions about my own work life balance and all those stuff. So just wanted to connect here in the Instagram to answer all your questions. Hello Sindhu, how are you? How is Kashmir? Hi Sway. Hello everybody. So you can post your questions related to whole brain acceleration or the holistic parenting or anything in general that you want to ask me for the next 1 hour. I'll be here answering your questions. So yesterday I posted a question box in my live in my stories asking for questions, and I have got a lot of questions which I've just noted down in my notebook. So I'll be answering those questions first, but you can also post it here in the comments. I'll be taking those questions as well. Hello Gayatri. Hello Anita. Hi everyone. Hello, hello. Okay. So the first question that I received yesterday in my question box is that what is the difference between a child who have been using the whole brain accelerator? They have asked us RB versus non-RB, but I would like to answer from the perspective of whole brain acceleration. So if you had asked me the same question before few years, or when I just started, I would have told you something like, okay, it is just an early advantage. It is not something, you will not be losing something much, but you will be gaining a lot. This was my answer all these years. However, having worked with like over 10,000, 12,000 plus parents and have been seeing all those kids throughout these 5 years, in this moment of time, I can clearly see a visible difference between the children who are practicing whole brain acceleration and children who are not. Let me list out some of the observations that I have noticed so that you can check for yourself. So, the first observation, what I have noticed with my daughter and also the people who start early in this process of whole brain acceleration, is that their speech development, their milestones in expression and also in speech, in their attention span, in their memory, all of these things have a significant difference. So when I started the whole brain acceleration with my daughter, what I saw is that she started to speak very early, like around 6 months, 7 months itself. She used to babble a lot of single words, and then in 18 months she used to speak in sentences. And I am seeing the same pattern with those parents who are starting whole brain acceleration earlier in holistic parenting universe as well. I'm seeing the same pattern getting repeated. So children who are starting whole brain acceleration from very early on are speaking early. So that also rules out one of the very common problems that we are seeing with children these days. I'm seeing there are a lot of children nowadays have speech delay due to a lot of factors. In fact, it doesn't have to be only screen time at this stage. It is also lack of the brain stimulation, lack of the vocabulary, lack of the presence, fully presence of the caregivers, and all of those things are contributing to the factor that child speech is being interrupted in today's world. And I think this one difference that we are seeing is a huge difference, because right now we are seeing a lot of parents are struggling with this one problem, that my child is not speaking it. I'm seeing a lot of parents now coming and telling that their child is 6 years old, still don't have the expected speech. So that is one of the clear difference that we are able to see. The second difference what we are seeing with our kids is that the level of focus and attention span. Now, I have seen this with my daughter on a various times, but also what I'm seeing with my students, my parents in holistic parenting universe, their children. What we are seeing is that when our kids are doing the whole brain acceleration, their focus is like unmatchable. So usually we have this thing, right? Once, if your child is 1 year old, the kind of attention span or focus that you can expect is for 2 minutes maximum, twice of their age. If your child is 2 years old, if your child is sitting and doing an activity for 4 minutes, that is considered as normal. You can't expect your child to sit for hours and hours focused on an activity. But if they are sitting for something, focused on something for twice the minutes of their age, that is normal. So if your child is 1 year old, you can expect 2 minutes of focused work that they do. After 2 minutes they may go to something else. And for your 2 year old, 4 minutes, 3 year old, 6 minutes, 4 year old, 8 minutes. But this is like industry standard. Okay. But what we are seeing with our kids who are going through the whole brain acceleration is that these kids are able to sit and do a work for more than an hour. One of the parents recently shared how her 18-month-old is able to solve 48-piece puzzle with less interruption, no, less help. He's trying to do it all himself, and it took almost like 1 hour for him to finish that puzzle. Just a 1.5-year-old child sitting for 1 hour focused on an activity is something that people will say like, this is not at all expected, right? So similarly, there was another parent who had a child whose child was around 4 years, and she was having a complaint that her son doesn't sit for even 1 minute. Okay, he's always on the move. But when she started to do the whole brain acceleration with her child for 21 days during the brainathon, within that 21 days she was able to see that her son is doing a painting sitting for 1.5 hours straight. So these are the kind of huge shifts which we are seeing between children who are whole brain acceleration trained and who are not. The another thing that I have seen seen myself is that we did a summer camp for whole brain acceleration summer camp, and also followed by a 3-month program where our certified baby brain coaches were taking classes for children directly on whole brain acceleration. So during those classes, there were also some of the kids from our HPU community was also there. So during those classes, we were able to clearly see a difference between the way how children are expressing themselves with confidence, and also the patience level and sitting through the sessions were all great when it comes to children of HPU. So these are some of the differences that I have been noticing over the years. But there was also the same question which was raised inside our community call once, and a mother was saying, she's from US, and she shared this information with me. She said, I used to always wonder, like, what is the difference between a child who is getting this input and not. But I was thinking it's only about the cognitive development. But later on, what she have noticed with her child and her neighbors is that whenever a child is asked the question, like whenever an adult asks a question to a child, the other kids were able to just repeat those questions. The children were around the age group of 1 years and 2 years. Okay, when someone asks a question to those kids who are not whole brain acceleration trained, then those children were only repeating those questions, or saying the things which, so say for example, what is your father's name, and they will be like simply blankly looking, and whatever the input that we say, they just repeat back. But what she observed with her child is that her child is able to think and answer the question instead of repeating. Now I'm telling this for a 1.5 year old. So this is one of the difference that she noticed, and she came and told in our inner circle call itself. So these are some of the things that we are seeing, but there are lot of differences with respect to the executive functions like focus, attention span, memory, and all that. And we're also seeing a lot of difference in the way how the child's empathy and emotional intelligence is getting developed for children who are practicing whole brain acceleration. Now I'm not calling this as right brain education, because what we do in holistic parenting universe is not only stimulating the right brain, it is about the whole brain acceleration. In fact, that is the framework that I have, whatever I have been doing with my daughter and also the other kids that we are seeing. Okay, so any questions here, you can post it. So we have a question from Rakesh Nala. My baby is around 18 months and not eating well. Don't know the reason why. Okay, so it depends. Okay, different behavioral issues may be there, or something related to picky eating would be there, etc. So once your child is about 6 months, is when you start to introduce solids. And how is the relationship with the food is being formed for the child, that also matters a lot. So if no matter whether you are going with baby led weaning or traditional weaning or responsive feeding, whatever method of feeding that you choose, right after your child becomes 12 months, that is after 1 year, they start to have some aversions and some strong likes over something and some strong dislikes over something. So they will be very much very much, picky about what they want to eat. Okay, that's why you see that once after your child becomes 1 year, they are becoming picky eaters. And this is a phase actually. So what might have been working before may not work now. So what you can do is that you can present the same food in different ways. Not too much fancy, you don't have to do it too much fancy kind of stuff, but you can simply, say for example, if your child had been having carrots before, and now if they don't want to take the carrots directly, you can use the carrot in the parathas, right? And if you're doing parathas also, if the circle shape is what you're doing, you can do small parathas in different shapes also. You can simply cut it and put it. And especially with respect to vegetables, you can try to include it inside the parathas itself. If you are giving sandwiches, present it in a different way. So at 18 months, what they it's not only about the food, it's about more about the experience. So if your child is 1 year old, 2 years old, 3 years old, even 4 years old, when you present it in a different way, if you present it in a different plate also, it matters. Okay, that way also children get more excited. So how you are bringing that excitement into the meal times is what you can focus on. So I remember when my daughter was around the same toddler years and all that, I used to have do the thing like this, where I say that today I have made a very special lunch for you. So I'll just give the excitement in those things. What is a special lunch is actually kirai and rice. Okay, so I will be saying, like, today I have made a very special lunch for you, and I'm going to present it in a very special way. And I'll just give some hype about it. So automatically, the excitement in me is going into her also. She'll also get more excited, and she'll be like, okay, I want to try it, etc. So I'll just give some small portions only. I don't put so much of food inside the bowl and ask her to complete. Instead, I'll just keep only a very small portion, very small portion, that when she eats it, I'll be like, wow, you finished the entire plate. Now, would you like more? So that way, this kind of, having some more food gets kind of becomes a part, right? Instead of putting everything in one time, and if the child is not eating fully, then automatically what we say is that, why are you not finishing it, right? That is what the pattern starts to happen. So the pattern, we are saying, like, every day we'll be saying, like, you're not finishing your food, you're not finishing your food, you're not finishing your, and that is what, somehow it is going deeper into your own subconscious mind and also the child's. So change, how do you change that pattern, how do you break that pattern, is by giving just, two spoon worth of food in the plate. Let the child finish it, and you can change instantly, you change the words that you have finished your food. So would you like to have more? Two more. So that gives a positive way of getting different, breaking the pattern and going in a different way, right? So you can try that one. Okay, so another question what we have received is that my child who is 18-month old is always wanting me, and even in the cooking. Okay, so this is a period of time when your child would be very clingy with you. They don't want you to move here and there, especially if you are the primary caregiver in the house. Okay, and I totally feel you, because whenever we are in that stage, when you are the primary caregiver, you will not even have a time for yourself, where you can simply even go to the next room, where you are always being followed by a tiny human. And 18 months is just the beginning. To be very frank, it is only the beginning. I remember when my daughter was 2 years old, she used to be very, 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 always, like, a person who's attached to you. That is the kind of thing that will be there. And it is also because you are their safe space. Now, two things to see. It's not that your upbringing, it doesn't have anything to do with the style of parenting that you do. It is not about the upbringing that you're doing. It is not about whether your child will always be like this. Right? So right now, at this point of time, your child is feeling more safe with you, and they want your company so much. And when you are trying to restrict it, when you are trying to push them away, it's going to become even more worse, right? So now we have to include some different kind of approaches, where we can adapt to this pattern of our child. And this is also a phase. First thing is, don't resist them, don't push them away. Instead, accept to yourself that my child needs me more than anything at this point of time. Now, the second thing you need to see is about your own energy levels. I totally understand that from the morning till the night, if someone is always being there trying to uh, get your attention all the time, it really exhausts you so much. That is the reason why you're also feeling mentally exhausted, physically exhausted, and you will be feeling like, I don't have any time to even breathe. I have been there, I still do. But when you are actually giving your child the space, and and respecting that their emotional well-being is what building at this point of time, then you have to start with yourself first. And I won't give you the advice like, wake up early before the child, do the things before the child wakes up and all, because sometimes it is, most of the times it is not practically possible at all. So when I was like, when my daughter was around 2 years, one of the common advices that people used to say in general is that you have to, you wake up a little early than your child. So if your child is waking up at 7 o'clock, maybe you wake up at 6 o'clock and do your things, have your me time in that 1 hour, and then you will be able to see a difference in your energy. But for me at that point of time, it was practically impossible. If someone also have the practically impossible, type pi in the chat box. Okay, it was practically impossible, because My husband used to go out for work in the full day, he'll be out, right? So I am the one who is managing the toddler the entire day. And I did not have any other support system, grandparents or someone who can just neighbors also. No, none of them were there. It is me from the morning, from the time we wake up till we go to sleep. It is primarily me who was managing the child and also the home. So my daughter used to have a nap in between in the afternoon. I don't sleep at that time. In fact, that is the time when I used to create content for our Instagram and all that. And that is my me time. Okay. And my daughter will sleep very late at night, like around, it will take like 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the night for her to sleep. By the time she dozes off, I will also sleep. So for a person like me who sleeps only at 12 o'clock or so, waking up early was not even a thing for me. And I know for a fact, no matter whatever time that I wake up, even if I wake up at 4 o'clock, my daughter will also wake up at the same time. The moment, even in the midnight, if I'm going to the restroom, also, immediately 2 minutes later, I will start to hear her crying. Okay. So these kids at very early years, they are so much energetically attached to the primary caregiver. In most of our houses, it is the mother. If my husband goes out, if my husband goes and sit in the bathroom for 1 hour also, she will be sleeping happily. But if I am stepping out of the bed from her space, if I'm stepping out for even for 2 minutes, right after 3 minutes maximum, she'll be waking up, she'll be crying, looking for me, and all those things happen. So I know for a fact, even if I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, she will also wake up along with me, and I'll have to manage the entire whole day again, the whole long day all alone. So for me, waking up before her was not an option. So what I can do, right after we wake up, we'll go and do the rituals together. And then, I mean, rituals in the sense morning routines, right? Do the same thing, come back. And after the breakfast, till the breakfast, my child will need me for every step. Okay. So after the breakfast, I'll be sitting with her. So till that point, from waking up time to breakfast time, I'll be fully present with her, doing our routines together. So right after the breakfast, she will be going and exploring the stuff in the house by her own. And this is where the learning environment makes a huge difference. When I have a space for her, with her books, with her limited number of toys, to open-ended toys to work on, etc., that will help her to be directed towards that. And those times I will do some cooking, and during the cooking also she'll be there only, so I'll involve her in the cooking. Sometimes when we are peeling the leaves of the kirai, then she will also be included in it. That is how our practical life skills will happen. So if I want to do it all by myself without involving her, it is not possible at all. So I'll be including her, she will be doing whatever she can, I'll be doing whatever I can. And then sometimes I Alexa is one of the best investments I have ever made, because I'll play some songs in Alexa, and then that keeps us, some like someone is there at home. So it keeps us, happy and busy. And then you cannot expect like so many minutes away from your child. That is also not there, especially those toddler years. So even in the cooking, in the middle of cooking, I'll have to be there. So coming back to her, guiding her, so always will be there only. So right in the kitchen, sometimes she'll be playing play-doh, and she doesn't want to do it in the living room, even though living room and kitchen are attached in the same space. Open kitchen is what we have. So even in those cases, she doesn't want to sit here in her dedicated space, she want to be in the kitchen. Okay, bring a paper, put it down, sit there only. So she'll be sitting there and doing. So you cannot escape that. But over a period of time, you may feel that you don't have time for yourself, where you cannot even breathe. So that is when we made a small change in our house, where we said that once after my husband comes back from home, so comes back from work, from 8 o'clock onwards, that is when he'll be taking her out down for some play. So usually in the evening for part time I will take her, but after he comes back home, he will take her down again so that they will be playing for some half an hour or 45 minutes where I be getting my recharge done. Okay, so it's, similarly you sit with your people who are there at your home and try to figure out which part of the day that you can delegate. I know some amazing mothers who have delegated the sleep time bedtime ritual completely to their partners, and I feel this is a blessing, it's a big blessing, but it doesn't happen, or doesn't happen in all the households. But recently what I have done is that now, right now my daughter is 5 years old, so every day I am the one who is making her sleep, right, because she have to sleep early so that we can wake up early and all that. But what I have consciously done recently is that every Sunday I'll be like, I will not be there during the bedtime, so you have to sleep with Appa, and I will communicate that very clearly, and I will step out of the house, because when I'm sitting inside the house, she will expect me only to do. So I'll be going for a walk. It is a recharge time for myself for the week. For the next 6 days I will be able to sit and make her sleep. One day I'm getting this. So similarly, depending on which stage and which phase of your child, figure out some time for yourself by talking to other people, how you can make some changes. But expecting a 18-month-old not to be clingy is highly impractical. And also remember that when you are giving them the emotional support, they are going to grow up so nicely well, and they are going to be very independent as they grow up. So this is the age where you cannot expect independence. At the same time, this is the space where, this is the age where the foundations are being set for independence. Stylish UV asks, showing flashcards builds neuro system, right? So it is not, the wordings is not right. I'll explain you why do we show the flashcards. So basically you have the brain is okay, remember, so you have seen the serial bulbs, right? So I even have it here. So this kind of serial lights you might have seen. Now look at this, each bulb. Okay, each bulb is there, and all these bulbs are connected by this wire, right? This is exactly how the brain works inside your, in the babies, but not just in the babies, in everybody's brain. This is how it is. These are the neurons, okay, the brain cells. These bulbs are the brain cells, and these wires, this is what we call as the neural network connections. So each of these neurons, there are billions of neurons inside your head. Okay, but it doesn't matter how many neurons you have, this, just like this is not gonna work. Now these neurons are getting connected using this neural network connections. The network is being connected and a huge big network has been formed. Now when I put this plug in the plug, and when I put this switch on, what happens? All these bulbs will be glowing, right? Similarly, in our brain also, the brain cells are there. Depending on the stimulation that you give, like switching on, all the neural network connections get connected, and all the neurons get stimulated. Now when the neurons get stimulated, that is where your different parts of the brain is responsible for different functions. Like one part is responsible for the speech, one part is responsible for the behaviors, one part is responsible for memory, for emotional regulation. For everything, our brain has different parts that is there. So depending on the stimulation that is given, the neural network connections are being built. So all of these areas are getting stimulated. Now how do you actually stimulate that? So if a wire like this is there, means you will be going and plug it in and you'll put a switch on. But for the brain, how you will switch it on? One of the easiest way to switch on that stimulation where the neural network connection builds all through your brain is the flashcards. Okay, that is the primary reason why we do flashcards inside whole brain acceleration. We make it so fun that we have three different programs inside flashcards. Okay, whatever flashcards, we have reading program, we have math program, we have bits of intelligence program. So all of these programs are the are the things in which the flashcards are presented. See, you cannot simply flash the same content over and over. Your brain will not get stimulated in that time, right? When your brain gets stimulated, when it's curious, when something is new, when something is very interesting for you, right? So that's how the different programs have evolved. But the primary usage of flashcards is to stimulate the neural network connections, build those neural network connections. So that is the reason why, if your child is being exposed to the whole brain acceleration framework, inside that the flashcards method helps your child to build focus, attention span, the memory is getting, because all of these areas are getting stimulated, right? So that is the primary reason why we do flashcards. And all the other things that you see when you're doing flashcards with your child, if your child is able to identify and all, it's just a byproduct. But we are focusing on these executive functions. You will start to see instant shift when you do the method right. Painting by number kit gives focus and concentration to brain. How you can increase focus? So painting by number is something that you can try after your child is around 3.5, 4 years, etc. And this particular thing is one of the activities for your child to look and know numbers. First of all, they'll have to know the sequence of the numbers. If you want to teach your child number sequence, painting by number is one of the nice activity to give. And also, oh, okay, painting by number, so dot to dot is what I'm saying. Painting by number is you have to see the number, whatever color is mentioned there, that you will paint, right? So that will actually awaken the logical brain of the child. So this is again for the number and color association. You can do it after 3.5, 4 years is when your child will be able to do it. But if you want to increase the focus of your child, this activity will not help. This is one of the activities, but for building your child's focus, you have to give a lot of different visual active stimulation and auditory stimulation. If your child likes to do this particular activity at this stage of their childhood, then give them. So when it comes to dot mazes, this kind of painting by number, these activities are all the activities that you can give to your child based on their interest and the phase of their development that they are right now in. So some people have some children likes to do puzzles at a phase of their development, and they love to do a lot of puzzles at that period of time, but later on they may not do it. Some children at that phase of time, they like to do a lot of drawings maybe. So you have to observe what is that your child likes to do at that point of time, and you have to give them the activities accordingly. So just by looking someone is doing something, if you go and present it to your child, and if your child is not doing it, doesn't mean that they don't like it. It is just that they are not at that state of development at this point. So you have to observe by or giving opportunities and giving them the environment to check what is their current phase looks like, and give them more of that. There are times when my daughter loves to do puzzles. There are times that she will never even touch it. There are times when she loves to do a lot of drawing. So, for example, the last 2 3 days, she have been doing a lot of drawings. Maybe I'll show you. Last 2 days, she was not well, and last 2 days alone, she had done all these drawings. Okay, one. So, but she didn't want to color. Okay, see, she said very clearly, "Amma, I will draw. I will not color." You can see that, right? It doesn't mean she doesn't like coloring. She likes to draw at this point of time, maybe. So she likes to draw, and she doesn't want to color. This was yesterday. All of these are from yesterday. This was from also from yesterday. These were all from day before yesterday. So those things, she clearly mentioned that I don't want to color, but I'll be only drawing. So she did all that. Now I'm not forcing her to do the color. It doesn't mean that she is not liking the coloring part, but respecting what is the stage of development at that point of time is what builds more curiosity. Now, if I asked her on the first drawing itself, if I asked her to, you should be coloring, then what happens? These many drawings would not have come possible last 2 days, right? So you have to, but this is not going to be. So she drew all these things yesterday and day before yesterday, And maybe in the next week, if I'm asking her to do a drawing, she may not like it. Like 2 weeks ago, she did not wanted to draw anything. All that she was doing was writing, writing, writing. Now if I'm asked her to write, she is not writing, she wants to draw. So similarly, each of our children during their state of development, they keep changing their faces, so we have to keep observing that. Ma'am, but when it is built or stimulated, then it is necessary to flashcards. So flashcards is one of the easiest way to actually build the neural network connections. That is one thing. So you do not know whether you are stimulating all the parts of your brain through other activities. You cannot be doing a specific emotional activity, behavioral activity, speech based activity, all of these things. Of course we do it, but it is not on a full phase, right? And also for very small kids like 3 months old, 4 months old, how do you stimulate? That is when the baby's brain neural network connections are building so rapidly than any other period of their time. So flashcards between 0 to 3 years makes all your work so easy. It is about how, so many people ask like, how is your child learning to read so easily at 2 years? It is because of the foundation that is being built. So no matter, it is not about what you are teaching, it is about how they are learning, right? So if, when you are doing flashcards between 0 to 6 years, especially between 0 to 3 years, you are actually building a foundation which is very strong for grasping anything faster. So when my daughter, when she was 2.5 years, she finished a white belt in piano. So that is something I credit only flashcards. Why? Because that is the foundation that was built. It is not expected for a 2-year old to sit and learn piano and finish the first level. It is not at all even expected. Now how it is possible is because of the foundations that we have built. Now every single thing, recently one of our members shared how her child was doing. I don't remember that puzzle name, some puzzle name, I don't remember the name. Okay, but she was mentioning that when she was just googling it, whether a 3-year old can do that puzzle, the Google said no, it is not possible for a 3-year old to do that puzzle. But her daughter was on level 3 already, and she was only 3 years. And she even mentioned that this is possible only because of the whole brain acceleration. It is not something that you can expect from a regular 3-year old, but it is possible. Now when my child started to read at 2.8 years, it is not expected from a 2-year old to read. But now we are seeing a lot of kids in HPU are starting to read, and it's so natural. It is not forcing, it is not phonics classes that they sit and learn like in school, but it is like very naturally they are grasping things so faster. And all of these things is what the results that you will see when you are doing the flashcards. Okay, now let me also ask take up a question from YouTube. My 2-year old started throwing her toys when she can't achieve what she wants. I tell her to stay calm and take breathe. She doesn't allow it. Okay, so for a 2-year old, one second. So what happens is that a 2-year old cannot fully express how they feel. So, activities when you're giving to your child, you have to be very mindful about two things. One is your child, the activity shouldn't be too easy for them. When it is too easy for them, it becomes very boring. The second thing you have to consider is that you should not be giving an activity which is very difficult for them. When it's very difficult for them, they get frustrated. So you have to have a balance between both, so that you can observe and check what is her level and how is that she is able to do it. And you being there, when you just tell her at that point of time to stay calm or take a breathe, they may not be able to do it. But when you have to do the breathing exercise and the calming activities is outside, when the child is not doing an activity. So the mindfulness comes as part of whole brain exercise. In fact, when even before we begin our flashcards, we do the warm up activities where we are doing the calming exercises, breathing exercises, and all that stuff. And whenever you are doing for a two from 18 months onwards, whenever we are doing the breathing exercise, right, just have this one more line that you keep saying to your child. Say that whenever amma feels very anxious or very sad or very overstimulated, etc., I immediately take a deep breath. I feel like an instant wave of cool that just fall into my body, and I will feel very calm when I'm doing it. This is something that I have always been telling my daughter after she become 1 year. Whenever we are doing the breathing breathe out, I always tell her this. And I won't say like you should take, whenever you are feeling sad, whenever you are feeling restless, you should do it. I never say that, but instead I will say whenever amma feels very restless or something where I cannot explain, that something hurriedly happening, means I'll take a calm deep breathe. It makes me instantly calm. Do you want to try to? That creates excitement for the child to try. And this statement which you keep repeating to them, you might feel that how they will understand, but the thing is they are actually observing everything. And the moment you start to say this over and over, they get it really. So I started to see my daughter, whenever she is feeling restless, she go and sit and do the breathing. It is not something that I tell her to go and do the breathing. It is her doing it on her own when the situation arises. But how does she know is that when you are doing the activities outside of that situation, not during that storm, outside of that storm is when where you can teach. So start telling these things. Whenever you are feeling frustrated, you can take a deep breath. And then whenever your child is having a toy, if it is not comfortable for them at this phase, gently remove it at this point of time. You can always introduce it later, but now see one level down of the same. Don't go with the age. When it comes to toys, don't go with the age, but instead go with your child's stage of development. Now when my daughter is doing some activities, I'll be like, whenever I'm taking a puzzles, when I see that she doesn't want to, one of the reasons that my daughter doesn't like puzzles earlier when I first introduced is that she won't be able to do it, and instantly she wants to do it also. Right, so they want to do it but they cannot do it. That really frustrates her, and she doesn't want to do the puzzles itself. So what I do is, I introduced a very small puzzle, like maybe a four-piece puzzle. For us, it may feel like it is very simple, but for them, it may feel so heavy, right? For the four-piece puzzle, also, she was not able to do. So I sit with her, I try to do it myself. And whenever I am doing it, right, I don't quickly take the puzzles from my adult brain and quickly finish it, because here I'm not teaching her about how to fix the puzzle. Instead, I want to take this opportunity to teach her, what if I'm not able to fix the puzzle, how do I handle that situation. So I remember one time I did this exactly, like four-piece puzzle is what I introduced to her, and she was not able to figure out how it has to be done. So I did this. Okay, shall I try? Then she said, okay, you try. Then I was like, for me, from the adult's brain, from you look at it, you know that where the pieces go. But what I did is I intentionally put the wrong pieces. I picked the wrong piece. I tried to match it, and I felt like, oh, it's not going. It's very frustrating for me to do this. Okay, let me take a deep breath. Let me try again. It's not going. Let me try something else. Okay, let me try this. Yeah, it is going. Maybe this is how I should do. Let me try again. Let me try again. So, likewise, I really took that opportunity to show that Amma also doesn't know. Amma is also figuring out. That really helped my daughter to see that yes, Amma is also struggling. This one, years ago, I had posted a reel on a water bottle, the same concept, I'll tell you now. So when my daughter was about trying to drink water from her bottles, and when she was a toddler, she was not able to open the bottle. Like for us it is so easy, na, that's it. But for her it was very difficult to open it, and she gets very very frustrated. So I told her, give me, let me try. And I was like, for me it's like this only, but I don't do that. I'm taking this opportunity to teach her how to handle the situations when things are not going in my way. So I'll be like, "Pa, mm, too hard. I'm trying my best to open this. Oh my god." Okay. I want water, so I'm not quitting now. I'm doing it again. Some things takes hard work, right? Appa. Finally, I was able to open, happily drinking. So this is not about you doing the thing for her or showing that I can do, but instead taking that opportunity to tell the child, show the child things are not always easy to go, and when things gets hard, how do you handle that situation with little patience and asking for help, maybe all of these elements. You cannot teach your child with words. You cannot say that do this, do that, but you have to do it. This is what we call as role play, act it out. Take these opportunities to teach your child, which beyond the textbooks can. uh My child is just 2 years old. I took him to parlor for haircut. He cooperated well, ma'am. Zero tears. It's all due to sleep talk, ma'am. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Chan. I'm so glad when someone comes and shares the wins like this. I have used sleep talk literally for everything. For my daughter did not cry when she started school, and it all because of sleep talk. I give all the credits to sleep talk. I have n number of times when my daughter was a picky eater, I have used sleep talk. Now people may ask, Lily, what is sleep talk? Now sleep talk is something I can explain, but if you're not doing it right, it may go wrong. And it is not, it works like magic for people in HPU, because we don't do sleep talk on day one. There is a lot of foundation that needs to be done for the sleep talk to work like magic. In fact, the sleep talk is something that you should be doing for 21 days or so. But because we have been practicing some of the foundations, and then whenever I'm applying sleep talk, maximum 3 days it will be gone. I have used a number of times whenever my daughter is sick. I use sleep talk. So I'm so glad that one of our other students is also able to see that. Could you please give me advice on which school to get admission into in Dubai? I'm really confused. Which is good school, British and CBSE? Okay, so it depends totally on the expectations that you have, and depends on your child's interest and level of their capacity to excel. So I never believe in a fact that best school. There is no best school that is available. There is no perfect school that is available. Okay. And depending on our child's level of interest, level learning style, choosing a school may differ. And also when it comes to different countries also it differs. In India there will be a lot of other things that we will consider. In Dubai the schooling system, education system is very different. So what I would suggest you in Dubai is that visit the schools to check. And you know what, first thing is that here it is not like, you can go by walk and leave your child to school. Anyway you will have to take a school bus or drive a lot of distance for you. So that one thing is something like non-negotiable. So but of course you can check out like which one is little bit of minimum distance, minimum time that will take. That also one of the things you need to consider. The second thing is about the curriculum, whether British or CBSE. It's totally depending on your child's learning style. So back in India, I had put my daughter in an IB school. Okay. And my daughter felt it very boring because there was no writing, there was no reading in kindergarten. People used to say, why a kindergarten child needs reading and writing? But my daughter loved it so much. Now in Dubai, she's going to a CBSE school where she's packed with so much of writing, reading. Even after coming home, she'll be so excited to do her homeworks. Once after her homework is done, she'll go and do the other activities. So she is that kind of a child. Why should I restrict? So I chose a CBSE school in Dubai because I wanted, because she wanted more stimulation in likewise. So we went with that. British schools here will go in a little slow pace. Slow pace. So if your child is learning style is that, probably you can check it out. For me, learning style of the child is something that you have to observe in your child, and based on that choose a school. For me, I clearly see for this point of time for her kindergarten, I feel like if I put her in a British curriculum school, my daughter will feel it very boring, because reading, writing, and all those stuff, it's still not that much. And she wants to do a lot of activities. And right now, when she is going to CBSE school, even that kind of thing is not sufficient for her at times, where I am teaching her tables and all for the next level. So whole brain acceleration kids have this problem. A side effect is that you have to constantly keep giving them lot of things, keep teaching them so much, because they are very curious and they want to learn. And if you're not ready to share them, or if you're just confining them into a particular age or school or only that, then it's not going to happen. So for me, school is a part, but whatever that you can give to your child according to their learning style is what really makes a difference. It is not only about which school that they are attending to, it's about what is the home environment that we are giving to them. That is all what shapes their behavior. But one of the things you can consider is the learning style. Based on that, you choose British or CBSE. The second one is you look at the fees and all that. Fees is very different, right? In Dubai, each school have different price points. So you will have to consider for a sustainable education. Some of the British schools do charge less, but their, even though the curriculum is British, are they really following the British curriculum is something that you have to go and check. Sometimes, the teachers are not well trained for that curriculum. If those cases, just the school name is not gonna help, right? So all of those things also matters. And also for me, I felt like my daughter, if she goes to school, she have to feel a little bit comfortable, especially in kindergarten. So but our children are very adaptable. Whatever schools that you are putting them to, they will be highly adaptable. Be okay, be ready to be flexible. If it's something is not working, you should be flexible enough to change. You cannot be thinking like how our parents were thinking for us, like, I'm joining my daughter, my son in a LKG, and I want them to go with the same school for the all the 12 years. Don't have that kind of mentality. Be open to, be flexible and change. And one of the advantages of in being in Dubai is that you can change schools every year also. It's not going to affect so much. Back in India, you have to pay a hefty amount in the beginning. So if you are changing school, you are losing a lot. So that's all about it. It's my perspective. Of course, you can have your own. Go to the school and check out the environment and all that, and how friendly the teachers are. That also matters. My daughter is 2.5 years old. She's not at all interested in learning ABC. How to make it interesting? Okay, so again, I'm telling you, 2.5-year-old expecting them to learn ABC is not needed. Okay, all you have to focus at this age is giving them the foundational skills so that they can learn anything easily and effortlessly for life. Okay, so the results that you are seeing, even with my daughter or the other kids in HPU, that you are seeing that they are able to be very good at memory, they are able to read at 3 years. Before 3 years, also, we have seen a lot of kids learning to read. And we have kids who are so good at math. There are kids who are learning multiple languages at once. Even at 3 years, they are able to say everything in three different languages. And all of these things is not from what you are teaching them directly. Okay, but it is about setting up the foundation for the child so that they can learn anything effortlessly. That is a huge difference. If you are teaching your 2-year-old ABCD, they may not like it, but you have to set up the foundation. That is where the whole brain acceleration comes into place, because you're not teaching them ABC directly, but instead you are preparing their brain for learning. There is a huge difference between that. Whatever that you introduce to your child, they can learn it easily, effortlessly, is what whole brain acceleration does. And if you're not making that foundation strong, no matter how hard you push, how hard you try, it will take its own time, and you cannot expect a 2-year-old to start reading just like that. So always especially if your child is between 0 to 6 years, please focus on the building the brain, so that as they are growing up also, they are train their brain is ready to learn anything easily, grasp things faster, their memory is trained well, their focus and attention span is trained well. All of these things are the building blocks, right? So before you start teaching them abcd or 1 2 3, start to build their brain's foundation. If you want help, we have the holistic parenting universe silver membership. You can go ahead and register for it. It's you have lifetime access to all of those things, right? And also it is evolving, ever evolving things, so you can get that help instead of trial and error. What questions should I ask for the schools? So when you are looking at the school, you can check for these things about the place, the location of the school, whether it is strictly properly maintained. One of the schools, when we were in Chennai, one of the schools that we were going, both of the schools that we were going to, the even though the school is all good, but the location of the school was placed in a position where whenever it's a rainy season, it is little difficult to get through. So those kind of things is also something to consider. And ask about the teaching style from the teachers, like what type of teaching style that you adapt to. It's not about the curriculum, it's about the teaching style. Because now I don't know about cbse schools in India, because I don't have much exposure to it. But what I'm seeing here in Dubai, the school that my daughter goes to, their teaching style is more similar to what we attended as IB in Chennai. Okay, our IB school in Chennai, however the practice was, the teaching style was the same thing as what we are seeing here in Dubai. I'm not very sure if that is the same case for all the CBSE school, but not just CBSE, but any school. But you have to check about the teaching style. And when you're going and entering into a classroom or a school visit, just look around the walls and the classrooms also. What type of things that they have in the classrooms, the whether the children are able to participate in the class. One of the things that I noticed, which I really liked about both the schools, that in Chennai and here, is that the children's notes, children's artworks are all displayed in the classrooms. So I that also helped me to see like what is the kind of um, input that is being given to the children, to see what is that they want to express. So that kind of things were there. And also see how much it is easy for you to communicate with the higher managements. If something goes wrong, then you should be able to go and talk to the teachers, to talk to the higher managements and all that. If that thing is not there, there is no purpose. I see a lot of schools in India where there are so much of wait list also, but if you want to raise a concern or something, you will not have access to those people. I think it is not good if you don't have access to the people who can make the change. Or if you have any concern and if you want to go and share it, if there is no access to the teachers, if there is no access to the higher management, then there's no point, right? And the school has to see parents as partners. I think these are the skills that schools have to develop. A lot of schools doesn't have it, some schools are adapting to it. And the schools have to be future ready as well. And how much ever we talk about the schools, about all of these things, practically if we are seeing, not we cannot expect this from all the schools, right? There is no right now the world is evolving so fast. And right now the world is you can't even expect what is going to come in the next 1 year. Adapting to the change is something that cannot quite literally happens all of a sudden at schools. So as parents, we don't want to rely I don't want to rely only on the schools. Schools will give foundation according to their curriculum, but for the life and for the ever changing evolving world, I want to take up that space where I want, because I know at this age my daughter is very curious to learn. I don't want to waste this years, and later on when she goes to college or higher classes, that time I'll go and ask her to do this, do that, learn this. That is not going to happen, right? So instead, whenever my child is in the highest form of learning, which is 0 to 6 years, I'm giving all my you don't have to spend 24 hours teaching your child. That is not something that I'm telling you about. It's just about gently giving them some exposure, some experience, some questions that you can ask to build their critical thinking skills and all that, right? So that is what we are doing at home, and in fact that is what we are doing as holistic parenting universe. Inside that also, right now we are creating something called as holistic genius hub, which is dedicated for kids. Now that my daughter is 5 years, and most of our students also have children around the same age or lower than that. Many of our students are below 4 years, below 5 years only. Most of them, only a few children are higher, 5 above. Most of them are below 5. So as my daughter is now 5 years, she has a lot of things that she wants to share with her peers. Now I don't see a like minded children in our community, I mean in her space. I'll be very frank. I'm seeing a lot of 5 year olds struggling so much with emotional regulation skills, and struggling so much with their own speech at 5 years also. So that is what I'm seeing a lot of kids are doing. But here in holistic parenting universe, we are seeing our kids who are being practiced with the whole brain acceleration are literally exceptional. Okay, and we are seeing that their focus is very good, their curiosity learn is more, and they have the capacity to learn more. So in those cases, why don't we form a community for those kids to learn more and learn better? And learning through sharing is what I'm focused more on. And the holistic genius hub is, right now we have just started as a space where they just share about what are their experiences, what they are learning, and to have a space of community that we are building. However, as the children growing up, we are envisioning our holistic genius hub to be the life school for kids, where the world is moving fast. Together as parents, how we can support our children to be future ready. So all of these things matters. It doesn't matter whatever school that your child goes to, because right now itself we are seeing that even the Sam Altman, who is the founder of ChatGPT, said that in future I doubt whether my son will go and attend a college. It's going that fast, guys. Okay, so don't crib so much about the school. Just have a space where your child's voice is being heard, and where your voice is being heard. That's more important, not the curriculum. And you're based on your child's learning style, you choose the curriculum. My son is 9 month old. Could you tell me what kind of flashcards are suitable for a baby month wise? Okay, the same question even I had. What type of flashcards? So if your child is below 3 months, go for infant stimulation flashcards. They are just black and white cards. I'll tell you a simple hack for this. Even if you don't have uh, you don't have to go and get it from the store. Okay, what you can do is, for an infant, for a 3 month below child, you are not going to flash the cards faster. Instead, you will be just showing them like one card like this for few seconds. That's it. Okay. So what you can do, how you can make right now, it's that you take a black marker and a white sheet. Okay, and you just make a box. Okay, I'll show it right away for you. And my daughter will kill me if I'm using her paper, so I'm taking a separate paper. All you need is just this. Okay, if your child is an infant, I'll show you how to do it. Just go with your paper, take a black marker, and do put a box like this, and shade one black. My marker is not that much black, but yeah, maybe this also black. Take a dark marker. Okay, you shade this and shade this. Now black and white card is ready. You can show it for a few seconds and then take it away. That's it, done. Okay, next day have a different design. You can draw it yourself. You don't have to go and purchase. Now if your child is about 3 months, about 3 months you can start two programs of flashcards. One is reading and another one is bits. For reading flashcards, again, you don't have to go and buy the reading flashcards. You can take a paper, take a red color marker. Okay, red color marker for this time. I don't have it right now, but all you have to do is take like this, take like a paper like this, and fold it like this. Okay, for this one, you need to have a thicker paper. Okay, not this paper, but a thick sheet like 250 GSM and above. If you get 300 GSM papers, it's easily available from Amazon also. You can easily get them. Take some papers like that and then cut them like this. This is your A4 sheet, right? turn them landscape, fold them into two, and cut them into two pieces. This is the size you need to show your child the reading flashcards. Now what you have to do is you have to use a red color marker this time, because children, very small babies, right, they will be able to see red colors fast, easier. So say for example, for a 4-month old, so I can say their name, I can write their name, I can write mom, dad, I can write words that they hear at that time. From 6 months onwards you can show spoon, plate, shoes, like that. So you have to just write them like this, a bigger words like this. Okay, so that's it. You have to prepare some 5 cards or 10 cards, and you can just, very important, you have to flash them faster, please, guys. Many people who don't even know about this say that show them the card, ask them what is this, ask them what. No, don't do that. You are not teaching your child. You have to stimulate the right brain, right? So you have to flash it faster. That is the reason why you should have the thicker sheets, because if you have thicker sheets you'll be able to flash it faster. I have made multiple videos in my YouTube channel on how to create your flashcards, how to laminate your flashcards, how to create reusable flashcards, all of these things. Because see, I have been doing this with my daughter and I wanted to do it in a sustainable way. And I was a working mother, I was working in IT at that time, you all know, right? Thankfully for pandemic I was working from home. 12 to afternoon 12 to night 9:30 I'll be working, and I don't have much time to create my flashcards. And that time in 2020 there was literally not many shops or Amazon that was, selling these flashcards. And even those things that were available, one or two, were very expensive. It is not going to be sustainable. That's why even in holistic parenting universe, even though we have our own storefront where we create our own flashcards, where we print our own flashcards, but I always tell my parents to create their own flashcards, because it's so easy. Now see, I've created one flashcard, right? How much time is going to create, make me help, how much time it is going to take for me to create 10 cards like this for my 6-month old. Now I'm showing the reading program. For the bits program, 3 months onwards you can even start with the bits program. Okay, for the bits program you need pictures. Now I'll tell you some of the easiest ways. One thing is that you can go to a stationery shop. Okay, go to a stationery shop, get some picture charts. You remember when we were all small kids, we used to have the picture charts like animals, birds. There will be a lot of pictures that will be there, na? Likewise, picture cards you get. Whatever topics that you want, they have all the topics. You get them, cut them, take the same thick cards, 300 GSM cards alone, you get it from Amazon or anywhere where you can get it, and glue it and stick it. Your bits cards is ready. You don't need a printer for this. If you have a printer, you can directly, download and create your own PPTs and do. If you are a part of holistic parenting universe, we have given you a lot of digital flashcards, I mean, which you can print it directly. You can do that also. Like whatever is possible you can do it. People used to stop themselves from doing flashcards because of this. Either they feel like, oh, it's a very expensive thing. Otherwise they will be thinking like, I cannot create my flashcards because I don't have a printer. The thing is that you don't need a printer. In fact, if people are joining in Brainathon, I'll be saying that you don't even need to have a printer or ready-made flashcards. I want to train you in such a way that even with nothing, how you can do the Brainathon. Because whole brain acceleration doesn't have to be a thing where you need to have this only, then you don't know. I want to make it very sustainable. That's why photographic memory activity, all these activities also, I'll be mostly telling you, do it yourself. Just take a paper and a pen. Even for teaching your child to read at 2 years, all you need is a paper, a pen, and maybe a whiteboard marker. That's it. Okay, so after 6 months onwards you can start showing math dot cards for your child. If your child is below 3 years, please focus on these things, because this is going to create a lot of impact than any other thing in their life. So investing in this, investing your time, energy, and money, of course, helps a lot in life. Okay, I have been seeing a lot of parents saying this, like from their child 2 years onwards they are following me, but they never took an action and joined in. But now they are seeing the child's speech is not good, their focus is not good, now I want to work on it, and they are coming and they are wasted a lot of time. Even though I say it's never too late, but it also is important that when your child is so young, it is so easy and effortless for you to do. Otherwise there is a lot of unlearning also comes into place, right? Yeah. At what age I can introduce chess to the baby? So for chess, we I have seen my students in HPU are introducing as flashcards as very in a very early age, so that it creates a curiosity. And I have seen a parent who have started showing the different materials from 2 years also. So it's all, so early years it's all about exposure. For the child to play it, they pick it up at their own pace. At the same time, depend on the exposure. So when you keep playing in front of the child, when you keep introducing it, they also learn those formulas, concepts. Depends on the exposure. Formal classes, if you want to introduce, then I think they will take up only after 5 years or so. But before that, you can really create a lot of curiosity in your child. And there is a website called as chesskit.com, which you can use along with your child. You both can learn chess from that. In fact, that is what we were using. I want to enroll to silver membership, but my baby is 6 months old. Is this the right time? Absolutely right time, Preeti. Don't even think. Please join right away, because you will not be in a trial and error. You will not make huge mistakes later on. You will not be constantly doubting whether you are doing it right or not. You will not be doubting yourself whether am I doing good enough, etc. And also, since your child is only 6 months old, whole brain acceleration becomes so effortless and easier for the child. And not just that, you will also be part of the holistic parenting universe community, because you will be seeing a lot of other children of your child's age, and you will be starting to see like what are the things that your child the child of your sorry the children of other parents of your child's age is doing. So you can also be inspired from those activities, and you can also introduce those activities to your child. And as your child is growing up, you will also be part of this community, where you are also, your child will also be growing up with this evolving holistic parenting universe. So joining now is absolutely not too early. In fact, we have parents who have children like newborns, just born 1 month, this Monday miracle, we have something called as Miracle Mondays, where every Mondays our community students will be sharing their wins for the week. And one of the parents shared a 2.5 month old miracle. Okay, so it's about, how she is very much focused on the breathing activities that they are doing. For a child who is below 3 months itself, we insist the parent to do the warm-ups with the child, even though they cannot do flashcards, they don't do any of the photographic memory activities, intuition activities, etc. But they do the warm-up. uh, Only the mother or the father will do, the child will also not do. But we have seen kids who are just 2.5 months old started saying om after they have started saying chanting om to the child. I'm not telling this from the spiritual perspective. In fact, there is a thing called as alpha music. Instead of alpha music, you can also do a om chanting, which also creates the same effect as alpha music. So those parents who have done om to their child, they have seen this. No, Preeti, you can also try this every day, just after the child is waking up in the morning and have their feeding and all that, breakfast or feeding. After that, you just have a conversation with your child. Now we are going to do something very special for the baby's brain. You can tell your child's brain, like for example, for Shraddha, I used to say, we are going to build Shraddhu's brain. Shall we do it? Yeah, yay. Now see, Amma is going to take a deep breath. The child may not be able to participate, but they are observing, they are seeing you, they are looking at you. Those little tiny eyes is always looking at what you're doing, so you are doing it. And you can even say, oh, just do it for 3 days, and who knows, the child may also try to replicate with you, try to do it with you. Try that. And if you want to join Holistic Parenting Universe, you girls can text this number 9363632393. Thank you, Sangi. Thank you so much for your beautiful compliment. Lavanya, this number 9363632393, you can text, WhatsApp us, and our team will connect back to you. Any questions? My son is 5 years old. He's having speech delay and developmental delay. Okay, so for you, dear, I would want to. So, since your child is already 5 years old and you are saying that your child is having speech delay and developmental delay, we want to see what is the reports that you have got, or what kind of assessment that you have done. How do you say it is a speech delay? All of these details we would like to know so that we can assist you better. You can mention this thing to our WhatsApp number 9363632393, and we'll go through that and we will let you know whether only this whole brain acceleration community is enough for you to begin with, or you need a personalized assistance. We will tell you based on that. But the foundation is on the silver membership. You cannot skip it, because you see, some of them ask me like, ma'am, I want to do a one on one with you. The thing is that, see, there are so many things that is there, right? In whole brain acceleration itself, it is a step by step process, and so many things that we cover as part of this foundational course. So when you are inside the silver membership, you get access to all of these things, and apart from that, not just as information, but you will also be able to implement them in one step at a time, right? So when you do one step at a time, as implementation, you start to see that you are guided through the process where you are taking action of those information, and you start to see what is the kind of shift that you're seeing in your child. So once you start doing this, and not just that, you will also be connecting with me live in a Zoom call where all our community members will be coming as inner circle call. There you will be getting answers to the questions. You will be guided throughout. And apart from that, we also have a community where you can also post questions whenever you have any questions. You'll be supported through with the other members, etc. So you are getting huge benefits than you can just get it from my one to one. So that's why I don't give one on one for entry levels. Entry levels, only one to one call with me will give you only less information. How much time do you think I can come and talk to you? Right. That's why getting into the silver membership is more valuable than for you than taking up a one to one. One to one will take lot of time for you to understand and implement all of these stuff. But we do give one to ones for those people who doesn't want to go through this process and they want direct access to me, but it's very expensive because I cannot accept all the one to ones, right? I have very 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 limited time to work on a one on one basis, so it's very expensive. At the same time, I don't want you to wait until you get my appointment for one on one. Instead, you get into the journey, start do, because these are the same foundations that I would expect you to do even if you're coming for one to one. So better you do this foundation, and then you will be automatically see many of the problems that you're currently having is getting sorted automatically. Okay. I have some of the celebrity clients for whom I do one on one, because they want to have direct access to me, and it's very expensive. They are already paying that money, and it's also very limited slots. But all the parents can take up the silver membership, because the same thing is what I'm going to share with you also in the group program. Only thing is, one on one will be very personalized for them. I give them like, do this, do that, that's it. And you know what, girls, it's not about the information, it's about your action. So if you would like to have the only the information, you don't even need to join the Holistic Parenting Universe. You get a lot of information. Just go to my YouTube channel. People say that they have binge watched my YouTube videos. There is so much content available which you can directly pick it and do it with your child, right? But if you want hand holding guidance, is where silver membership comes into picture. So that is how you should be doing it. Mm. Pick up a different timing, Preeti. Pick up a different timing. Don't go directly say the om. Instead, start with, building that connection first. This is one of the things which I have noticed in multiple parents also. Many parents, what they do is they get a flashcards and they go directly and start doing flashcards with their child, and the child doesn't want to even look at it, and they will say, okay, flashcards is not working. But the thing is, about what you do before and what you do after flashcards, that exactly what matters. See, I strongly believe that these it's not about what content that you are showing through flashcards or what tools that you are using. Tools of course has its own, but the intention and the connection is what build this consistency. So if you want to start the process, you can't directly go into you can't directly get into the just the the flashcards materials. The tools doesn't matter, but your energy is what matters a lot. If you are having so much in your mind that is running, that is the energy that your child is also sensing, right? So they will not feel good if you're not feeling. So you might have already noticed this multiple times. Whenever you are feeling so sad, or when you're feeling low on your energy, you see that your child is picking it up so easily, right? So every time, even the warm-ups that we do, the breathing and all that, it's not even for the child, because the child is already in the alpha state of mind. It is more for the parent, because right now we are thinking a lot of things, we are having a lot of things that is running in our mind. We have to go into that alpha state for ourselves so that we can be completely present with the child. So always do the connection first, intentionally going. And that's why even in brainathon, the first day we say, name your session something very funny, something that gives you your own excitement. You can't say, like, come, let's do flashcards. That is not something I'm excited for. So instead, what I say is, keep a name which you like. Some people call it as flashy flashy, funny funny, blah blah session, something like that. They will keep it very funny, and they will be going and announcing it to the child with so much of excitement. Today onwards, we are going to do something so exciting that I'm going to call it a funny funny or funny bunny. Every day you repeat the same thing. Today, shall we go for the funny bunny? Yeah, come on, let's go. And the warm up is primarily for you so that you can be present for those 5 minutes with your child, not thinking about your work, not thinking about what to cook, not thinking about what is the message that would have popped up, none of those things in your mind. But 5 minutes you being completely present with your child is what matters, right? And when you do that, you automatically see, within after 3 4 days, your child will come and ask, Amma, funny bunny, what happened? Right? One of the main reasons why and how our parents are being so consistent is because of this step by step process. After the announcement, we'll do warm-ups with the child, we'll connect with the child. The input is what we focus more on, so that the relationship and the connection is built. Right after 3 days, the parents will lose their excitement. They will be feeling, should I do it today, maybe tomorrow? The same time, on the habit, the child will automatically come and ask, Amma, where is the funny bunny session? That's exactly how people are able to finish the 21 days and be consistent with the process, because you are building a beautiful connection and become making it a lifestyle. Thank you so much, Agalya. I'm so happy that you are part of HPU as well. My child is 23-month old. He always throw all the things. Just answered this question. For example, if he completed eating fruits, after completion of eating, he always throw the cup and spoon down. Okay, so this is mostly also on the to do with your reactions also. Sometimes children, okay, there are multiple reasons why a child throw things around them. The first one is, they might be, if they are throwing everything around you, here and there, randomly coming and throwing things, then they are in the trajectory schema. So what is a trajectory schema? Is the sense that comes in their brain that they want to throw everything. So they keep throwing all the things that they see. When you catch them in that schema, provide them activities where they can throw things, give them balls, give them paper balls, for them to actually go and throw everything and figure it out, like, and you can also take them to park where they love to swing. All of these things will calm down their trajectory schema. Now, if you see, in some certain situations only they do that. For example, when they are having food, they throw the food, and they throw the food, you immediately react, right? Why did you throw? That reaction is what the child likes so much, and they want to see it more. So that's why they keep repeating it. So your response is actually making them to do it again and again because they love to see it. Okay, so that is a pattern that they create. So other times during the day they may not even remember it, but by the time they go and sit in the chair, they remember that. They immediately throw and you react and they love it. So what you can do is, if you are reacting too much, less reaction, try to control it. Okay, so when you are not reacting, they automatically get bored, and they don't repeat it, and it's a phase. So these two things you have to figure out, what is the root cause, and respond accordingly. Any other questions that I missed out? Let me check. Ruxar says, you are an inspiration. Even I moved to Dubai, and watching you grow and build this community is amazing. Thank you so much, Ruxar. Lovely. We will definitely connect sometime here in Dubai. Thank you, dear. Okay, so people who are not following me, in people who are watching in my YouTube, who are not following my in my Instagram, go and search for Nalini's, the same spellings that you see in the YouTube. Go and check it out, because there I'll be posting a lot of behind the scenes as well. And people who are watching me in Instagram, I know that many of you are not part of my YouTube. You are missing out so much. YouTube is where I be posting a lot of long form contents, because in Instagram I can only connect with you very small minutes. In reels, I can connect with you for 30 seconds to 60 seconds, or maximum 1.5 minutes. And also in stories, even not even that, just 1 minute is where how I'm able to connect with you. Now I have done a live for more than 1.5 hours. I'm glad that we are able to connect. But YouTube is where I can connect with you, teach you concepts, share something for long form content. So you would love to have it. A lot of my students are coming from YouTube. They say that they binge watched my content. Such binge worthy content is there. Okay, same name, Nalini Sino. Go and check it out. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't just watch it, instead just subscribe. Fatima asked, my son loves math. Can you tell me Singapore maths is good for him to build a curiosity? A child who loves math loves any type of curriculum. Okay, whichever is comfortable for you. If you know how to do the Singapore math, or if you have someone who can teach him Singapore math, go ahead and try it. Okay, because it's very aggressive curriculum. Singapore math is not a easy one. It's a very aggressive. But if a child likes math, he will find it so easily. Give it a chance. Okay, but now don't ask me saying that should I give only Singapore math? No, not like that. Whatever is that you can give to your child, do that. Okay, or you can find. So for my daughter, recently we saw that things were so boring. So now she is able to read everything. Last from her 3 years, 4 years, at least when she was 3 years, we were doing both math and English. I mean, reading. But after 4 years and 5 years and all, it's more 4 years. It was more on the focus was on reading, because she loved to read. However, she was not able to progress, so we were focusing more input on that. And nowadays, it's she is able to read anything that we can give. So now we were thinking, like, what do we do? And math also, the numbers wise, she already know. Addition, she is learning. She is already doing it little bit. So multiplication is what something that she was asking, Amma, what is multiplication? So I was just like, you know sharing the tricks that I am learning. My husband used to have a lot of math tricks, so I'm learning from him and I'm teaching her. So we are not following a particular curriculum. It is just like curiosity that is built up. So you can teach your child very easily, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, that's it, right? Yasmin asked, how you manage your work, your learning, and also your kids' learning. Like, do you have any evening routine which helps you to balance all these? Any advice for balancing all? I know this question is coming up. So let me quickly tell you. So, over the patterns, this question has been something that people ask me ever since I started my journey in Instagram. But every time I don't have an answer because I felt something coming naturally. But over the last 5 years, this is a pattern that I have observed, which I can tell you. First thing is identifying what kind of person you are. Okay. Some people, they have a lot of structure, they do a lot of planning, they can survive with the plans, they have their own schedules ready, like tomorrow I have this meeting, tomorrow I have this, today I have this. Only with that they can survive, they cannot immediately adapt to new things. So suppose if someone is saying that tomorrow you have to do a live, they may not be ready for it because no, I have to prepare for it. So this is one kind of human behavior. The other kind is like go with the flow. These people, they don't have much of a plan, they don't schedule every single thing, and they are more natural when it comes to spontaneous actions. So first you have to identify what kind of person you are, because this person's lifestyle may not be equal to this person's lifestyle. So according to my patterns, I am a very go with the flow kind of a person. Even this live which I have planned was planned only today morning 8 o'clock. Not even 8 o'clock, it was 8:30 for me. 8:30 for me, which is 10 o'clock for you. So in the next 2 hours I'm going live, is what I felt like coming live, and I'm coming live. I'm not prepared with anything, I'm just coming and doing it. Even the reason why I was 5 minutes late was I was figuring out how to go live in YouTube, and my browser was not working. I had to do another thing, the verification, all that took 5 minutes. So I'm a very spontaneous person like that. And when it comes to balancing it all, I even had put a full video on work life integration in my YouTube channel. You go, girls, go and check it out. It has a very step by step process of how you can work on your work life integration, because I really don't believe in the word balance. I want to integrate the parts of things which I feel more priority. So right now, next week onwards, my daughter's winter break is starting. Okay. Winter break means holiday break. It means that I have to be fully present. I don't have this time for myself where I can sit and do a live session like this, right? She'll be here, she wants my attention, she wants my connection more. So in that case, what I have today is this week I'm keeping it for my high priority tasks which I have to do before I go for the winter break. So winter break starts next 2 weeks, and then new year will come. All of those things are there, and we have some plans for that. Plans in the sense general plans, okay, not the study plans or anything like that, but general plans. So if I have to be fully present without any guilt or overwhelmingness, having some important tasks completed by this week can help me. At the same time, last 2 days my daughter was not well, so I was not able to do all of those things that I planned, which is okay, which is not something that I want to crib about. So this is kind of an adaptability I have learned over the years, especially after becoming a mother. Before becoming a mother, it is like mostly the external situations is not going to impact me. It's more about my internal situations where I am not feeling well, when something I don't have, that is when the work gets delayed. However, after becoming a mother, many things are not in my control, right? It's mostly on the child's sleeping pattern, sleeping time, and all that. But when it comes to my work, thankfully right now I'm doing my work, which is my love. Okay. So what I'm doing as a work doesn't feel like a work for me. So right now coming to the live is a work kind of thing, but it doesn't feel like work for me. Creating content to my Instagram is doesn't feel like a work for me. But at the same time, when I was doing a software engineering job also in 2020, 2021, and all that, those times my daughter was just 1 year old, very very small baby. And thankfully I had a very supportive team, so that in the afternoons I'll not be able to do much of a work, but I have to balance it in the night. After she sleeps is when I go and work on those stuff which I have to finish. Thankfully I've just changed my work to adapt to my balance. But my learning again, Learnings are something that is feeding your brain, right? For me, if I'm not learning, then my energy goes down, so I keep learning in a sense. There in 2025, in fact, the learning part was low than my previous years. uh, and also I'm consciously choosing what are the things that I want to learn. A lot of just not the certifications things, and if it is needed for me, I'll take it up. If it is a training that I know that it's going to uplift me, uplift the people around me, then I'll take it up. And one of the rewarding experience of being a coach is that when I grow, it's not just my family that grows, but also my entire community gets growing, right? So even for a person, even for a mother who is watching this, when you are learning something, you are not just learning for yourself, you are not just shifting your own energy, you are shifting your entire family's energy, your family's growth is there. So learning is something that I love. At this point of time, I call myself a lifelong learner, and that is how it is being managed, all of these things. And yeah, so you have to identify what kind of person you are and what works well for you. If something like, having a structure and good plan comes naturally for you, do that first. Schedule, plan, and go with that. For me, it doesn't work that well, so I try to do it. But nowadays I've become so much, very evolved as a person who is planning, because especially having your own business needs a lot of discipline. There is no boss, there is nobody will come and tell you do this, do that, but you have to do it, otherwise you cannot, right? So that comes with discipline. So in those cases, I have some structure. So having a structure helps. Sometimes, when every 2 weeks once, we on Wednesdays we have the inner circle call, that is something fixed. And every other bi-weekly Wednesdays we have our diamond members call, that is fixed. Every 2 weeks once on the Fridays we have the baby brain coach certification calls, where I support my certification coaches, so that is fixed. And then webinars we have on a particular dates, that is fixed. So these things are already fixed. These are the things which involves other people also. So when other people are involved, I cannot be in a go with the flow, right? So I have to be having a structure. So these things, I have a structure. Apart from that, right now my daughter is going to school, so the entire morning I have time to work on my business and all that. So I do my very important high priority tasks, things that needs my full focus and attention and creativity. I do it in the morning. Afternoons, after she comes back, it will be mostly after lunch, some like half an hour time with her, where we will be doing something together, or she'll be doing something, I'll be just watching, or I'll be teaching her some new concepts that stimulates her brain and fill her cup. And later on she'll be doing independent play, she'll be doing something, and I'll be working on my little less works, like setting up my emails, checking my Instagram, like that, and creating posters for my content, creating reels, editing something, all of those things. And then by 6 o'clock, sorry, 4:30, 5 o'clock ish, we'll have to do our dinner. I'll prepare my dinner, and then she'll eat. And by 6 o'clock, 6:30, we'll have to go to the room, so that she can maximum sleep by 7:15, 7:30. And then I'll be having like maybe 1 or 2 hours for my own learnings. Most of the trainings that I attend are from the people from Western countries, US and all that, so it will be in the midnight. So I'll be either watching the recording or do some learnings. And it is also not like every day I'll watch this, no. It's about the intensity of what matters at that point of time. This is what I do. My evening routines are mostly like from 4 o'clock I'll be making dinner, I'll be helping my daughter to finish it, and then we'll go for the bedtime routine. My evening routine is mostly her bedtime routine. Her bedtime routine involves with two books or three books according to how much she chooses, and one story, one song, and then making her sleep. So once after she sleeps, sometimes I'll work, I mean I'll learn and I'll work. Otherwise I'll be talking to my husband, that is the time when we can talk, and then I will sleep. I think in understanding your identity will be very, very useful. Prabha asking, is it necessary to introduce phonics for a 3.5 years old? If you want your child to read at 3.5 years is a good time to start with. When my daughter, for my daughter and for many kids in HPU, it is the curiosity from the child itself where they wanted to learn to read. So we are giving them that exposure. Giving exposure is not a problem, right? And 3.5-year-old, it's good to start. Your child is a genius. Every child is a genius. We have to give them environment and exposure. Okay, all the other questions maybe I'll ask you girls for the I mean I'll answer you girls for the next live. I'll come for the next live very soon. Hopefully we will see, maybe next Thursday I will try. Routine for a baby. Okay, last question I'll be okay, you. I want to answer all these questions, but I cannot. Okay, quickly taking routine for a baby cannot be determined until they are 3.5 years, but you can have a rhythm from 1 year, like morning, afternoon, this, evening, this, night, this. Likewise, you cannot for have a particular routine like do this, do that, a kind of a schedule for a baby, but being adaptable, keeping keeping up with the changes, because children face changes within weeks, within months, etc. So when your child is a newborn, every week will be different, every day will be different. When your child is a toddler, every week will be different. When your child is a preschooler, every month will be different, and it goes like that. So you have to be very adaptable to that. Following a rhythm will help not only you but also your child. When you have me time, right now having my me time. Okay. And right now I'm having my me time. I have a hobby of vlogging. So Indian Mom in Dubai is another Instagram page. I love to capture videos and edit and post it. That is one of the hobbies that I take up. That is my me time. And sometimes I just close this and just go and sleep. That is my me time. So my me times are not very fancy. It is something like a lifestyle. I believe in that. Waking up in the morning and after sending my daughter to school, me and my husband going for a walk. It is not for fitness. It is for connection between both of us, because more no throughout the day we don't speak, right? So going for a walk will help us to keep talking without phones, without distraction. So that is something like we do as our me time, like couples me time. And after he also goes to work, I'll finish my bathing. I quickly get ready, going and sitting and doing a chant and doing a meditation. That is a me time for myself. And if I want to go to a shop out there, I'll go and come back. So it is not something like a fixed routine when it comes to me time. I just, whenever it is needed, we have to pour it depending on the level that is needed. So some days, just having a full day watching TV or watching some movie is a me time. So depending on what kind of energy fulfillment that is required at that point of time, I choose my me time accordingly. So, and for me, since the work and life is both integrated, where it is not like a work that I do. So for me, like creating content for Instagram is a me time. Likewise. Okay, girls. I hope I answered many of your questions. I hope so. If any questions, you can always reach out to us. And if you want to join the Holistic Parenting Universe, which is also evolving as Holistic Genius Hub, then you can connect with us on 9363632393. So I'll be saving this live. If you missed out from the beginning, you can watch it. Thank you so much, and I see you soon. Bye bye.